Thank you very much for having me today. I'm Ronald from Grab, and I wanted to talk about the concept of anytime, anywhere retail, which is not by any means a new concept, but applied differently from the context of Grab. And in this session, we are going to discuss, the learnings we've had in the past year with regards to this topic, what opportunities we targeted in the market and what future opportunities there are, and how we basically harnessed our ecosystem to get into the retail business. But before I start my story, I'd like to give a little background from a year and a half ago, beginning with the COVID lockdown and crisis in March 2020. So, as everyone knows, country went into lockdown in March 2020, and it affected most businesses, as far as I know. We were one of those businesses that were affected by the crisis as well, predominantly because transport was our biggest business at that time. And in March, August, and many different times from then, public transport was taken away and it negatively impacted our transport business. So as you can see from the graph on the right, every time there's a lockdown, basically we decline and then we start to go back up every time the lockdown lifts. So what we needed to do was to find a way to get out of this cyclical thing and basically get a more stable business. So fast forward a year and a half down the line, and I can fundamentally say that we are a bigger, more resilient business and very, very different at this point. As you can see from the slide, there are many, many different products and many different brands in Grab today versus a predominantly Grab car and Grab food centric business prior to the lockdown. So the key question that we want to answer is, how did we transform from this and how did we get into retail? To get into retail, we redefined the concept of mobility. And we basically went into what we call anything, anytime, any reason delivery. So as a context, the main Grab core strength is the ability to deliver something from point A to point B in real time. And that looks simple, but it's very, very hard to deliver that consistently. So in 2013 to 2018, we perfected that through transport, which is delivering people from point A to point B reliably and safely anytime. And in 2018, we did the same using that same model for Grab Food, where we delivered food fast and conveniently to your homes as needed. In 2021, we started to rethink, what else do we get into? So we decided that perhaps groceries, specialty goods, and all of these things were the next thing that we could do, which was really getting us into retail. And as you can see from the slide there, I'm going to talk through this later, but these are examples of concepts like warehousing, right, inventory management, merchandising, and all of these things. So to start this, in March 2020, at the time of the lockdown, we actually launched GrabMart as a marketplace. And the tech was not ready, but we used whatever we had to be able to bring this out to market on the context that there was an opportunity out there to deliver groceries and food to people while in lockdown. So Mart is effectively a marketplace model where we and our partners, such as the big box groceries that you see there, Robinsons, Ever, SM, etc., and the convenience stores, list themselves online on our platform and make themselves available to the market. Now, there are many opportunities in this because it's such a nascent business, real-time grocery delivery. So we looked at the model and we saw some opportunities to innovate it further, which is what I'm going to discuss in the next slides after this. One of the things we launched just this year in June was what we called Grab Supermarket Fresh. And what it was is effectively, a real-time or near real-time aggregation of farmer goods and supplies straight from the farm all the way to your home within 24 hours, right? And we started this because we had discussions with our existing farmer partners who happen to be listed on Mart Marketplace, and they needed our infrastructure to be able to take stuff from their farm and deliver it all the way to your home, right? And basically, Grab had the facilities and the transport mechanism to be able to make this happen. So as you can see from the graph there, we've had a tremendous success with this pilot, mainly because we were delivering cheap organic vegetables into the market within 24 hours straight from the farm. And the pictures that you can see there are really our driver partners using their vehicles to be able to transport our goods. And our dark warehouse were basically used to pick and pack vegetables and fruits to the market. So let me just explain what this supermarket model looks like on a high level, just so we can look at the concept of just-in-time fresh, right? So as you know, fresh is a difficult thing to manage, right? Because there's spoilage. I can clearly say we have no spoilage, mainly because we take it straight from the farm, do quality control, and bring it to your house within a very fast time. So what happens is the customer places an order at the end of the previous day. We then send POs to our suppliers that night, and the suppliers basically start to ship the goods from their farm into certain places in Metro Manila, where we basically just take them, deliver them, pack them, and ship them to your home. So everything is done within 24 hours. Okay, so that's an example of basically a just-in-time fresh supermarket, which is Grab Supermarket Fresh. Coming from this pilot, we decided that there were other things we could do. So for example, we have hundreds of thousands of driver partners and their families in our ecosystem, right? And we realized we could deliver to them and their families goods that were cheaper than most places, right? Using the Grab infrastructure again, to be able to deliver these goods in the market. And so we launched our big supermarket, which is what we call Grab Supermarket. And it's only been up for a couple of weeks. And we're still getting orders right now. And we're ramping up the SKUs to do it, right? So this is for us really an opportunity to harness our ecosystem and our base and create an offering that is very specific for our drivers. Now, the question is, what did we learn from all of this, right? And I put it in two things. The first is there are already things that you have in your organizations that you can reuse. For us, we have marketing, we have customer support, we have sales, we have all of that, right? So it's really just reusing all of that. And we have existing tech that brings stuff from A to B, right? But from there, we had to really build things from scratch, right? Because we weren't really very good at category management. So we built category management in 4 weeks, right? Brand new team, right? We basically had to look at warehousing operations and learn warehousing operations on the fly, right? Very manual, and it's starting to just automate it now, right? And then play with the concepts of, real-time, no inventory management, and all of these things, right? We then also had to build infrastructure over again, basically reusing our existing centers, to create dispatch centers, cold storage, inventory management, and so on and so forth, right? So I guess what I'm trying to say is, in your companies, you already have a lot of things to transform your organization. This was our example, and I'm sure it's different from all of us. But basically, just maximize what you have and build what you need to do. And one tip I have is it's not really about technology, right? It's really more about people and process and partners. And tech is really just an enabler to get you into it. So my key takeaways before I end are really around four things to bear in mind, right? So every one of us has been affected by the crisis. Please be resilient, right? And these challenges will come and they will get harder. But out of these challenges come opportunities, and you basically need to take advantage of those opportunities out there to make your business better. For us, and maybe for you guys, we kept our stakeholders in mind. We reused whatever we can, right, from our partners to make a difference. And lastly, while we're setting up all of these new things on retail, the fun thing is that we are helping people along the way. And so I think your impact in your different companies is really bigger than you think. So do some bold moves, right? And try to help the stakeholders that you have in your ecosystem. That's it for my little talk, and thank you. And please reach out if you want to have a chat around retail or any topic that is related that we can discuss. Thank you very much, and goodbye.